Now, thank you for all your texts and your comments so far. Fair play to Neil and his team. I remember all the misery of emigration in the 1980s. Hopefully this ends that forever. That's from Councillor John Hearn. Damon, I wonder where the money to bail out the creches was pulled from. There's an election looming. Will this be one of their slogans? No money for hospitals or homeless, but in the space of a few hours, the insurance industry will gain from this. Maria's texted that she thinks there will be objections to the North Quays because there are some serial objectors in Waterford, but she believes, roll on Waterford, this is very, very positive news. And other people texting in about the positivity. Speaking of positivity, Liz was talking to me earlier, Liz Reddy from our news team there. 9,000 flyers in the name of James Bond actor Timothy Dalton were printed by a politician last year for free. Nearly 25 million items, including postcards, bookmarks, sympathy cards, were printed in the Oireachtas since the start of 2018. The Irish Independent reports this cost close to €600,000. Taoiseach Simon Coveney, for example, ordered 2,000 bookmarks, while Sinn Féin printed 20,000 copies of the 1916 proclamation. I don't know about you folks, but I think that is scandalous. Like, they're obviously allowed to do it. It's part of the system in the Oireachtas. But bookmarks, copies of the proclamation, postcards, sympathy cards, flyers in the name of James Bond actor Timothy Dalton, possibly for a charity event. Like, is nobody keeping an eye on this sort of stuff? €600,000. Scandalous. It really is. Another thing that people might be scandalised about is creche costs. How much do you pay for your child in a creche every week? Text us, please, 083 333 975. We want to hear from you because we're going to deal with creche and the issue of creche prices and all the creche issues now. Yesterday afternoon, after I was in Dungarvan, I went over to Abbeyside and I went into Small Talk, a lovely childcare facility in Abbeyside. Spoke to Glynis Casey. Going to be talking to Glynis in a second now about this bailout for creches that Catherine Zappone announced yesterday afternoon. So firstly, I got a feeling from Glynis in terms of how difficult it is to run a creche and all the costs. Here's the report. So we're here in Abbeyside. Small Talk, is that it?
That's right.
Where'd you get the name from? That's a nice name.
It's just something that really, really appealed to me.
And what's your own name and what position have you here?
Right. I'm Glynis Casey and I'm the owner and manager here.
And how many children would you have here normally?
On any time of the day, we've got 60 children on our premises.
Wow. And in terms of the staff ratio, then how many staff are here?
I've got 17 on my books altogether because of the staff and child ratio is very, very important. So it all depends on the age of the child to what the ratios are, going from our 1-year-olds, which is one is to 3, but we have more staff than is necessary because of the quality that we're wanting to actually put in.
Just have a little look here. We won't go in now. Hello, how are you? So this is the 1-year-old room, is it?
It is.
And a little child having a little sleep there.
It is. Well,
who's that? Who's having a sleep?
He's just woken up and he's just feeling a little bit drowsy still.
So you've got like your 1-year-old room. You've then got other rooms for different ages. Toddler rooms, yeah.
Toddler rooms. They are sleeping at the moment.
Yes.
But they go from after they're about 1.5 to before they go into the junior preschool room. So they go from about 1.5 to about up into almost 3.
What is the situation with insurance here?
It is just unbelievable. I was on to my insurance company yesterday because they sent me a renewal from 3,600 to 4,600. And when I questioned them about it, they said it's just that they had a lot of claims and they were putting it up because of that. And I said, but why? I haven't claimed anything. I've been here since 2010 and I've never made any claims at all. And she said, well, somebody has to pay for it. And
so 3,600 for a year,
yes,
and a €1,000 increase in insurance, exactly. And this is to insure the premises and the business and the staff, or just the general insurance.
Exactly.
That's a 33% increase.
It is.
With no, as you say, no claims.
No claims at all. And when I questioned it, she just said that that's the way that insurance companies worked. And I put it to her that it was a rip-off. And I also mentioned to her that we didn't have anywhere else to go to at all. We didn't have a choice because the other people, that was Porrick Smith, have actually closed down. And she said to me that's the reason why they've closed down, is that they weren't charging their customers enough money. It was just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable.
Where does that leave you? Like, is there any position to haggle?
No, she said that was it. There wasn't any position at all. And on top of that, of course, there's the rates that we have to pay. Not all childcare facilities pay rates. It all depends on whether you're private or whether you're a NEMRA. There's numerous childcare facilities are exempt, and that's another sore point, because I've been having a lot of correspondence lately with the rates department of Waterford County Council, and I still haven't got a meeting with them. I've actually sent them 3 letters. I've actually got copies of them that I've actually got also, and I mean, and that is exorbitant. It's well over 3,000 euro as well.
So not only paying wages, staff are dependent on the wages. There's an awful lot of pressure on you.
Huge.
You've got to meet all the criteria.
Exactly.
You've got all the checks and the people coming in to make sure everything is run well, which is right.
Exactly.
You've got heating, you've got electricity, you've got rates, and now you've got a 33% increase in insurance.
And we also do, we serve the community here very, very well in that I've actually purchased 2 cars which are fully insured, which is astronomical as well. So that we can actually go to school, fetch the children, bring them back here. We give them hot meals, and it's right from 7:45 to 8 in the morning until 6 at night.
And how much would a child pay to be here? Obviously, it depends maybe on the age and depends on what.
It all depends on the age, and also depending on how long they are here. Because we've got a variety of different schemes as well. That the government seems to want us to do all of this, and yet the support they're giving us is very, very little. Honestly, it is. Do you want to know a price? Right, Natalie. Well, what sort of price typically?
Well, let's say
baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
It's 160 a week.
Oh, 160 a week, approximately, is it? Doesn't matter. We'll check that in a second. Yeah. While we're doing that, what are you going to do, or how can you absorb this €1,000 in increase?
I just don't know.
Because this is the reason price is important, because you don't want to pass it on to the parents because they're under pressure.
As well.
They're under pressure.
Yeah, and
will you be left with any choice?
No choice at all, because I can't open up my doors in January without being fully insured. And my rates paid as well, because they're also threatening if I don't pay, they're going to charge me extra. It's a colossal. It's a colossal amount, and I mean, we can't push our parents anymore. It's just not right. I mean, we have people here from various ends of the economy who just find that it is really, really difficult. Really difficult.
Yeah. It was 190 a week wobbler before any subvention is taken on.
190 a week.
Entitled to something off of that.
So a parent may be entitled to some subvention depending on their circumstances. Yes.
And there's the new National Childcare Scheme then, which is very new. So of course we have to we're working our way through that to see what subventions people are entitled to.
The different schemes that we have to try and bring the costs down for the parents. And in doing so, I've also had to employ 2 people almost full-time one is full-time and one is almost full-time, just doing admin. Only admin.
To try and help people, to try and work all those schemes in. Very time-consuming, yes, yeah. What are you going to do?
I honestly don't know. It is so worrying what the future is holding. There are people around me closing because of this. It is a very, very, very difficult situation, and we've got nowhere to turn to.
I can hear it in your voice, like, to have stress at Christmas time, coming up to Christmas. It shouldn't be like this.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. And I mean, I'm trying to do the best for my staff as well, and for families, and yet there's no help for us. No help.
Like, if you closed here, not only would the staff have no jobs, but parents would have no place to put their children. The very best of luck. I don't know what to say. I hope
it is really, really tricky. It really is. I've just written another letter to the rates department as well, expressing my concern about the future.
If Leo Varadkar was listening to this, what would you have to say to him?
Please have a levelling field for rates. I just feel that the field is not levelled at all, and the people who...
And in terms of insurance?
And insurance, yes, please help us. Please step in and do something to help us, because we can't carry on like this.
We can't carry on like this. Glynis, good morning.
Good morning, Damien. How are you?
Good, thank you for joining us. I'd say listening to yourself on the radio is a funny old feeling, isn't it?
It is. It's a very, very strange feeling, I must say.
What you had to say there was very pertinent, because yesterday afternoon a lot of creche owners and a lot of mammies and daddies had been in touch with their different TDs. Maybe the government came under pressure, maybe it was pure political expediency with a general election looming. They announced, Catherine Sapone, yesterday evening, since that interview we did with you, approximately 1,500 per creche to help offset insurance costs. Are you happy with that, or what do you think of this?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Minister Sapone for the additional funds to help us out at this very, very difficult time. However, Damien, this money will be passed directly on to the insurance company. It won't actually benefit the running costs of our facility. It's actually addressing the symptoms and not the cause. What they need to do is bring in more competition for our insurance. The government needs to step in and put a top on this. It's just spiralling totally out of control. We've been put under so much pressure to be like schools by Tusela Pubble, the Department of Education and Skills, the Department of Children and Youth Affairs. We are inspected by them all, and we've taken this, and now on top of it all, the pressure of these huge increases is just phenomenal.
Phenomenal, yeah. A texter saying the insurance companies are out of control, Damien. The government needs to confront these issues now and put an end, or businesses will be destroyed. Other people saying that the problem is with the insurance companies. Like, even if you get €1,000 this year, that goes straight to the insurance companies.
It will.
It will.
And what about next year?
What about next year? That's the question I was just going to ask. Yeah, and the year after that, and the year after that. And
yeah,
also,
exactly.
If the insurance companies know that everybody's getting money, they might well up the premiums again. Exactly.
There's no issue there at all with them. They will just get as much money as they can.
Is there any possibility, a texter saying, to solve the problem of insurance with creches, could the parents sign a disclaimer when the children go there? I don't think that would be legal. No, that's not legal.
You couldn't. And I mean, we have all committed to opening up next year. There's no doubt about it. You know, we've committed to our parents. It's a service that we run, and very, very happily. It's our passion.
So the immediate crisis hopefully has been averted with this payment. And again,
absolutely.
My feeling on it is that it's pure political posturing by the government on this, because they didn't want this issue to become a political hot potato in January and February. But for whatever reason is, you're welcoming it, and you'll have to then see how things go next year.
Absolutely. But a solution has to be found.
Glynis, thanks very much for joining us this morning, and happy Christmas to you, your staff, and everybody that uses the facility there. Thank you so much, Damien, and to you as well. Thank you. There's Glynis Glynis Casey there talking to us from Abbeyside in Dungarvan. Let us know what you think about this whole insurance business. It's something that still hasn't been tackled as much as they can. Minister Michael Darcy has been trying to work on it in different aspects of it, but it is a bailout. No matter how much the government tries to dress it up as saying it's not a bailout, it is a bailout. Simple as that. Let us know what you think. Next, we have the very latest on the boilers. Now, welcome back to the programme. Peter Shine has texted in, Damien, why can't the government provide the insurance company cover? Let the creche pay the fee to the government. Good question, Peter. 12 days of Christmas, courtesy of Mulligan's Pharmacy. Text in Mulligan's Christmas Cracker to 083 3333 975. We've got 2 more prizes to give away today and tomorrow. So we've got a nice prize today, I think, behind that little box on the computer. Let us know, please text us in, and you can join Mulligan's Pharmacy Blue Club. You can go on mulliganspharmacy.com. 60 years in business, lots of great Christmas ideas there for presents. Now, boilers. Talking to more ladies, we got more boilers fixed there yesterday. Some people have had their things fixed. Damien Veriker has texted, Damien, my wife Jenny was talking to you during the week about the boiler. I got up last night and it was lovely and warm in the house. I can go to bed now without extra PJs and extra heavy throws and quilts on the bed. A million thank you to everybody in WLR and especially Deise today for your help in making this a happy Christmas. Damien, it's a lovely text and really appreciate it. It's lovely when we can help people and do things for people. Now I'm starting my roundup on our boiler morning with Hazel Cleary. Hazel, good morning.
How are you, Damien?
I'm good, thank you, Hazel. How are you this morning? Is it what's it like in the house?
There's 2 radiators only working in the house. The one in the kitchen and the one in my bedroom.
What's wrong with
barely lukewarm.
Yeah, what's wrong with the other radiators? They're just only lukewarm. So there's a problem with the heating system, is there?
We can't go in because it's corporation has to do it. Because when I rang, and I'm ringing since May. And
can you not get a friend or somebody to sort it out? No.
Well, I have been ringing. I actually thought they were coming out. You know what I mean? Anytime I was ringing them, they were saying they'd be out. But that's since last May, Damien. And I'm like, I'm paying my rent every week. You know what I mean? It's not only that, it's the radiators and like my presses in the kitchen, they're broken as well. I have a window here and the latch on it is broke as well. And they're telling me that they can't fix the latch, that I have to get someone to do it myself. As I said, it's a corporation house. As I said, I'm paying the rent and whatever. I don't think I should have to be asking anyone to do it because it's their job to do it. It's their house. You get me?
Yeah, but I suppose, there's some jobs that you can do yourself or get somebody to do. Yeah. Is it not a case, no?
It could be, yeah. But you see, as I said, I'm on disability, as well. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
When I'm ringing them, they're telling me that there's a backlog. I was only on the phone with them last week, and I told the girl that she couldn't believe it was on her since last night. I'm only waiting since last night. I said to her, she says, what? She said, I'll lag it in. That's all they're doing, Damien. They're only lagging it in. There's no sign up and coming out to me. They're telling me I don't know how long it'll be. So how long more am I going to be waiting?
Yeah, well, we'll get in touch with them this morning and see if there's any movement on it. And listen, Hazel, mind yourself and happy Christmas to you and your family.
And you too. Thanks, Damien.
Mary, good morning. How's it going? You rang the council yesterday to log a complaint because your house is like a freezer there. And tell me, what did they say to you?
Oh, it's just that they logged complaints during the last 3 weeks and still no one came out to check it or fix it.
How bad have things got? You're wearing your nightgown in bed. Is that how bad it is?
Yeah, I have to wear nightgowns in bed. Can't have to have the fire lighting 24/7. And the only room the fire's heating up is the sitting room. So all the other rooms are like a freezer. Like a freezer, yeah? Yeah. What are you going to do if nothing's done before Christmas? I just have to buy an extra coal and just keep burning coal all Christmas. It's not right, is it? And this is the boiler problem again, isn't it? The gas boiler, the heating won't come on to it. And you told them it's not coming on, and they said they'd logged a complaint. And when did they say they might be out to you? It could be after Christmas, could it? At this stage, it could be after Christmas. Listen, I can't see anyone coming out. They're probably getting their Christmas holidays tomorrow.
Listen, Mary, we'll get back in touch with them. I don't know what to say to you. It's awful situation. We might give you a ring in the morning, okay?
All right, thank you.
Sharon, good morning. How's it going?
Grand, thank you.
Tell us, what's the house like this morning?
Cold.
How cold is it?
It's very cold at the moment now because I don't have much heating.
So what's the problem? Is it a boiler problem again, a gas boiler problem?
Yeah, gas boiler, yeah.
And you're in a council house, is it?
I am, yeah.
And how long are you waiting to have your boiler serviced?
Roughly 2.5 years. It's since March 2017.
2.5 years?
Yeah.
And have you told the council? Have you been ringing them?
I have. I contact them loads of times. It could have been a few times a week, and I left it for a couple of weeks, and I rang them again, and I just got, I leave a message for them. They left, the girl that I spoke to left order message. She screenshotted my calls and sent them that in an email to say that I was asked to call loads of times about the boiler, and still nobody contacted me back to say, I was told I was on a list, but I don't know what length list I'm on, to say that they'll get it done.
And
but there's no one really coming to see what the problem is.
Did anybody call out to check it at all?
No.
And is it working? Is there any heating at all?
Barely. I wouldn't heat the room enough. Now I have a 16-year-old. He's an asthmatic at the minute. He's an asthmatic for years, and he's even finding it difficult because it's very cold. And I have a 5-year-old. So and she's only after getting rid of a cough that she had for weeks, and she's even freezing.
And I wonder, is it a problem with the radiators?
Well, I bleed the radiators if I don't find if there's not heating up, and it's still not heating up to roast and hot. It should be hot. They're kind of bare. They're kind of lukewarm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And do you think? Have you had anybody else to look at it? Is any friends or any handy men or women that could have a look at it?
No, because usually, if my radiators don't heat up, it's usually to do with the heating, so I contact the council for that.
What do you think about a cold Christmas?
I don't fancy a cold Christmas now.
And what do you
say? I don't think nobody would like a cold Christmas, but I think they'd want a bit of heating, because you're supposed to be able to enjoy Christmas, when it's warm as well. I know it's cold outside, but you prefer it to be warm inside rather than colder on the inside than outside.
And what do you say to the children?
I'm trying to get it sorted. But there's nothing really else I can say, cause I try to explain to a 5-year-old. I don't think she'll understand really what I mean when I'm saying I'm waiting for the heating to be checked and sorted.
Do you get used to the cold?
Well, I would, but the kids wouldn't, because they'd be freezing. They'd be wearing extra clothes around.
Yeah, and how do you think about it all? How do you think about it?
Well, it's kind of annoying, at the moment, because the fact that no one came out since 2017 to even have a look at the boiler. Because if the gas boiler sorted, see, I have a gas fire, but I don't use it because I have kids, and that's not going to come on properly if the gas boiler is not serviced. I can't use that anyway, because I never use a gas fire when I have kids, and I only have 2 kids, and I never kind of put it on if I was on my own, but that was a long time ago, But when I have kids, there's no point putting it on, because the first thing they'll do is they'll go over by the fire, especially when they're young. They're not going to understand.
Well, listen, we'll give the council a ring again this morning. You get back in touch with them this morning and see if you can get it sorted, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for that. And another lady has just texted in, Damien, my rent is up to date, as the other people. We checked those people this morning to make sure the rent was up to date, because there is some possibility that the council will not do repairs if rents are not up to date. The rents are all up to date with those. And this person has said, Damien, I'm on the list. I've checked. I've just been on to the council. I'm on the list now. They won't be out to me until after Christmas. I was told a little heating is better than no heating, says this texter. What do you think? Surely if you can get the boiler serviced by Bord Gosh, the council would have no problem, says this texter. I'm wondering how the council could finance all this work. Pat has texted in about the Tower Hotel. Damien, I'm in total shock when I heard on the news that the Tower Hotel has been turned down permission to knock the awful, ugly old buildings round the corner from the hotel. This surely has to be changed, says this texter. And on childcare. What about the childcare workers who are on the minimum wage? They are the ones subsidising early childhood education and care. And this cannot continue. Many go to college and get a degree and get paid pittance. Let us know what you think. And regarding childcare, Timmy has texted in. This is a bit controversial one, Timmy. People are going to be angry about what you're saying here, or maybe they might agree. I think parents should stay at home, says Timmy, and bring up their own children. Having other people do it for them is morally wrong. It's about a lifestyle choice. What do you think? Text us in 083 333 975. We also want to know about your marriage. Are you happily married? Next. Now, welcome back to the programme. Owen, good morning.
Good morning, Damien. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Owen Crowley. Thanks for texting in. You are a winner of our Mulligan's Christmas Cracker competition. Well done. Happy Christmas to you. How are you? All good?
Thank you. I'm here at the dentist, ready to get injections, which I hate.
You're in the dentist this morning, are you?
Yeah.
And you're just about to get some work done, are you?
Oh, get the old dentures. Like I want to have your smile that you have used to have on the.
That's right.
I want to look like you.
A good face for radio. That's me, as me daddy
exactly.
said. Now we've only got 2 numbers left, number 5 and number 11. Which one do you want?
If you were a gambling man, what would you go for?
Go for 5.
Go for 5 then.
Okay, click on 5. Here's the cracker. Lovely. And behind it is, This Works Morning Expert, Wake Up Drops, Vitamin C Power Mask and Hyaluronic Serum. Now, there you go, Owen.
I'll be young as well as having a lovely smile.
Yeah, that's it. You'll have to rub that on your face and your head, and you can put it on your chest as well. Have you a hairy chest?
No, I get that waxed, Damien, the same place where you get yours waxed.
You get it waxed. Lovely, perfect. You're dead right. Owen Crowley, happy Christmas.
Thank you to everyone in Mulligan, and happy Christmas to you.
Many happy Christmas, many happy returns to you, Owen, and to all your family. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. That's Owen Crowley there talking to us. He's our winner of our competition. In a second, I'm going to be talking to Bernadette Ryan about all things got to do with relationships. A couple of texts first. Damien, I have the most understanding and loving husband anyone could wish for. He would do anything for me. This is the secret of a happy marriage. Damien, please give time to the working poor who are paying for everything and trying to make ends meet for Christmas, says this texter. Keep your texts coming in 083 333 975. Now, happy Christmas, Bernadette.
Happy Christmas to you, Damien.
Happy Christmas. It's nearly there. Only a few days left to go. Are you all set, yeah?
I'm all set. Actually, well, no, I'm not actually. I'm surrounded here by a load of Christmas stuff. But as I'm saying to everybody this year, have a good enough Christmas.
Yes, very much so. Bernadette, I've really appreciated our chats about relationships, and you are Bernadette Ryan, relationship counsellor, and thanks very much for doing this slot for us over the year. I really appreciate it. We get some good reaction to this, and it gets people thinking as well. Now, we're talking this morning about how separated couples can keep the peace over Christmas. And I suppose a lot of people would have watched the movie Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. They're in the throes of a breakup. So, basic advice for couples to keep the peace over Christmas, for separated couples.
Well, it kind of it sort of depends on what stage the separation is at, I didn't actually see the film, but I was reading about it, and it said, just when they think the battle is over, the war continues, kind of thing. Separation is a very long, drawn-out process, When couples come to me, I try to help them to separate in the best way they can. But sometimes it's not, it's fraught with pain and hurt and anger and all those kinds of things. So it's really difficult to sort of to keep grounded through all of that. So for couples that have recently separated and where there are children involved, I would be saying try not to change too much for the children over Christmas. It really is about, sort of when you're at your lowest ebb, you're really being called on to be the best you can be for your children. This is what happens during separation, and it's very difficult and really, really difficult process.
Because as well, Christmas is a time of heightened emotions, and
yes.
So, in practical terms, what do we do? Like in terms of, do the children stay with the mammy for Christmas morning? Do they go to the daddy later? Does the daddy and mammy come together and try and have Christmas dinner together? Like, it's a minefield, isn't it?
It is a minefield, and that's why I say there's two things I'd say. It depends on what phase they're at, if it's beginning or if they're already separated for a long time and for a while, and people have had, especially the children, have had a chance to get used to it. But I would say as well, this is under the ideal situation. Where there is maybe coercive control or abuse, all bets are off. The children's safety is primary, right? So I just wanted to add that in, because in some instances it can be very difficult because the children are used to kind of further emotional abuse or physical abuse or anything like that. So I just wanted to put that to one side. But ideally, where, both people have their children's best interest at heart, the key thing to remember is you may not be married to each other anymore, you may be separated, you will always be these children's parents. And ideally, it's to treat the co-parenting relationship almost like a professional one. We don't always get on with all of our work colleagues and all of that, but we have to find a way to get on with them, and we have to find a way to respect them. So I would say, respect your ex-partner as your children's other parent. And actually that can be a very useful term to refer to, as opposed to my ex, which can bring up, my children's mother or father or whatever. I think it's possibly, a better term. So, if things are okay, really focus on the children. What do the children want? What would they, a lot of time it's the needs of the parents come first. I want the children. Maybe, ask the children, what would they like? There's also then there's the view that I would say, like, if it's close to Christmas, keep things as much the same as you can for the children. But if it's over a year or whatever, it can be a good time to start new traditions. Instead of, because there is a view that if you try to continue everything as it was, there's always something missing. So maybe start new traditions with the children, but as much as possible to be inclusive. If the parents can, be together for the sake of the children on Christmas Day or, the day after, to really, really focus on that. It really is a time. The way on the aircraft they say, look after yourself before you put your mask on your child. Hopefully the two adults involved are looking after themselves and are in such a way that they can be think of their children, really think of the children first. It is a case of putting your children first. That's the bottom line, you know.
Yeah, a texter, Damien, thank God after 3 years separation, myself and my ex are actually spending Christmas together for the sake of our daughter. She knows it's finished, so there's no false hope, and we all get on very good now. We're even having dinner together the odd time too. So
that's wonderful.
That's nice. So
that is wonderful. And because, the key to remember as well is children are entitled to a relationship with both of their parents. They're entitled to a relationship with their mum, they're entitled to a relationship with their dad, and that relationship never ends. And actually, sometimes, and I don't mean this against men, but sometimes separation can bring a whole new relationship with the children because it has to be, sort of done in a very focused way. So that can be one of the bonuses that come out of it, or whichever parent may have been more absent around the children, But to be as inclusive as possible, and also really to avoid trying to make the children take sides, because they really they hate that. They really, really hate that. And their loyalties are divided, and, they sometimes will take sides, So it really is a whole minefield. But as you say, emotions are heightened at Christmas, and you do the best you can. You do the best you can, and to remember, particularly for the parent who maybe is this sort of sole doing the sole parenting, it can be a very difficult time. And then maybe the other parent comes in and goes, plays happy other parent and bringing the presents and all that sort of thing. It can be very difficult for the parent who's doing all the parenting and making sure homework is done and all of those kinds of things. It
certainly can. Listen, Bernadette, to you and your family, happy Christmas.
And the very same to you and yours, Damien. And I look forward to chatting again in the new year.
Yes, look forward to it, really do. And listen, mind yourself, and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bernadette Ryan, there, our relationship counsellor. Texter in from a lady. Damien, I'm happily married 23 years, thank God. My son goes to my in-laws every year, and there's no hassle. As long as the children are happy, that's what it's all about. Regarding the earlier text that Timmy had sent in, Damien, is that texter for real and living in the real world about people having to mind their children at home or should mind their children at home? Does he think it by choice that people have to send their children to childcare? Unfortunately, people have to work and have no choice but to use these services to do a great job. Of course, people would love to be at home with their children, but sometimes have to change and often need two people working. It's obvious he doesn't have a clue about people's lives in those comments. That is from Mary. Mary is quite irate. That's what we're here for. We want to hear your comments. Also, anybody looking to help out with Busgate over the weekend, we're going to be doing something about that tomorrow. Anna Jordan was on to me earlier in the week. They still need some volunteers, so get in touch with Busgate on Facebook. Next, we got a really interesting Tramore man who has written a lovely book. Now, I got a text in yesterday from Morris Cummins. I didn't get a chance to read it out. Damien, could I wish Paddy Coffey, Suzanne and the family good health and happiness for the future. A soldier with Paddy in the Oireachtas from 2007 to 2016. We worked together on many projects in Waterford, to be missed, but will not be lost to the party, and I'm sure his family will remain active in Fine Gael. That's from Morris Cummins. Another text, well done on Marion Walsh and Niall Harrington this morning. Two great people. Waterford needs you desperately. Now, Tom Lyons, good morning.
Good morning. Pleased to meet you, Damien.
Pleased to meet you too. Tell me a little bit about yourself. You're living in Tramore, is it?
I live in Tramore, yeah. I live in Ellen Park in Tramore. And another chap and myself run the Residents Association out there for the last 15 years. And twice we won the large tidy area in Tramore. We generally like to look after the older people with the neighbourhood watch and that.
You're happily married?
Happily married.
What's your wife's name?
Mary.
Mary, hello to Mary. How long are you married?
49 years next March.
What's the secret to a happy marriage?
Well, I've been asked that before, Damien, and the quick answer I always give is, when you get a good woman, hang on to her.
And how do you sort out arguments over the years? Do you talk it out?
Well, we never let the night go without making up if we have a little tiff.
Because we have a relationship counsellor on sometimes, and that's one of the key things she says is talk about it, get it out of the way and move on.
Yeah.
You'd agree with that?
So, we're not only a married couple, we're best friends as well.
How lucky do you feel?
Yeah.
Do you feel lucky?
Very lucky.
Like to have met somebody, a life partner.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
Yeah.
And you were on holidays 10 years ago.
We're on holidays 10 years ago, Damien, and I thought to myself how lucky we are to be living in these times when we can get on an aeroplane and travel down to the places like the Canary Islands and generally have a good holiday. And I thought to myself, well, people back in the famine times in Ireland, they not only had nothing, they had less than nothing. And a thought came into my head of maybe I could write a little story about this. So, although the wife and myself collect for Daffodil Day each year, I thought to myself, maybe there's something else I could do to be of help to the hospice movement. So, I got this book together over a period of 3 years.
So you wrote a book?
I wrote a book.
Your first time ever, and you're bringing in a copy into me now in a little envelope, and I'm going to open it up here. And it's called The Fields of Athenry by T.L. Metalman.
That's my pen name.
Your pseudonym. Why did you go with a pen name like that? Metalman,
because
obviously.
If the book was successful, I wanted Tramore to have a leg in it.
Lovely. Like spelling a new book. And it's lovely. The lives and loves of Irish people in Athenry during the famine times. So it's a self-fiction depicting life in Ireland during the famine times, where the Irish famine and the night of the big winds is factual. The characters created are fictitious. And there's a picture of yourself in it. It's lovely. It's very nicely produced. Is it self-produced?
It's self-produced and printed by Graphic Image.
Excellent. Why did you pick Athenry?
Because there's a lot of history there around Athenry, and I've been up there 4 times, and it's a beautiful little village during my research for the book. And another reason, Damien, is that at all big international rugby and football matches, this song is sung. And a few different foreign people have asked me, they've said, well, what's the significance of this song? So I've tried to answer that in the book.
Excellent. And there was a documentary about this, I think, last year, and it's been repeated a number of times by RTE about the fields of Athenry.
Yeah.
Marvellous documentary. It has a resonance far beyond these shores.
It has indeed, yeah.
How difficult did you find the book, or was it a labour of love, or how did you compose a combination of non-fiction in terms of the history of the famine with fictional characters.
Yeah. I thought about it for quite some time, and once I got to writing, it all came to me fairly quickly. The story came to me pretty rapid, like.
And you've never done anything like this before. What did you do when you were working, as they say?
I was many, many years ago, I was a carpenter. I worked on building sites and that, like, over the years.
And you're still keeping yourself very busy.
And still keeping busy with the Residents Association, the Neighbourhood Watch in Ellen Park, and generally collecting for charities such as the hospice.
So this book is on sale where, or how can people get it, and how can they support the hospice?
It's for sale in the book centre and Cattles of Tramore, and the Haven pharmacies have it as well.
How much is it?
It's €10, and 50% of the sale of that book is going to the hospice. At the next coffee morning in Tramore, the next hospice coffee morning in Tramore, I would be given, on current sales, I would be given a cheque to the hospice movement of €1,000. And we have 240 books sold.
That's excellent. Congratulations.
Yeah.
And the reaction from people?
Generally, it's very good, because straight away they identified the book with the song. That wonderful song by Pete St. John.
Lovely. Well, listen, continued success with it, Tom. And is there another book in you now?
I don't know. At my age, at 75, I don't know.
Actually, you can keep writing you could get another 15 years out of it yet.
It's hard to know, Damien.
And it didn't interfere with your married life, your relationship, or anything.
No, because I spend the mornings looking after Ellen Park, and in the afternoons then I would sit down and do some writing.
Do you want to say Happy Christmas to anybody?
I'd like to say Happy Christmas to my wife Mary, my 5 adult children and 16 grandchildren.
Tom, thanks very much for calling in. Thank you for the book.
And thank you, Damien.
And happy Christmas to Mary, to yourself and all your family, and a safe and prosperous New Year.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Now, thanks very much to Tom. Text in there. Best of luck to Marion and her company from Michael Joy and all the Joy family in Kilmac. Thank you very much, Julie, for producing today. Jeff is up next. Keep your texts and comments coming in. We will talk to you then.